So I'll remind them of the time, I'll remind them of the place, and that you should really show up live. But we have to think of our event marketing and our event emails. We have to think of them as an extension of the event itself. So we're starting to create the event experience well before they go into the room, right? It's become so easy nowadays for people to be like, yeah, I want to go to that event, and then decide, well, I'll catch the replay.
Yeah.
So you want to start creating that experience from the beginning. So what to keep in mind is what kind of experience do you want people to have in the room? Why do they want to be in the room? What can you tell them? What can you share with them to incentivize them to show up in the room and explain why being in the room is a better use of their time than whatever else might come onto their calendar? So when it comes to emails and, sending like those reminders, for example, I always want to think about it in terms of how can I improve the experience and add value before they get in my room?
Such a good point. And we often just think about once they're in the room and we sort of, put out our promo emails, people start signing up and we sort of ignore those people for a while.
We're like, yeah, they
Um,
already said yes.
so of course they'll be there.
They already said yes, they're going to be here. And then, like, meanwhile, what's the average show up rate nowadays? It's like dropped to like
Oh, yeah.
20% or something, or even
Oh, yeah.
lower.
Even lower. Yeah.
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 So, yes, we did the work to get them to say yes, but we still need to do a little work to get them to actually show up. Because
Yes.
we all know that the likelihood of conversion is a heck of a lot higher if they're in the room versus learning about it after the fact.
Yes. And so I always tell people, like you have the strategy to promote it and get people to register, but you also need a strategy to get them to show up.
Hmm.
And nowadays, it's harder than it used to be because there are so many events out there and we're getting so many invites. And I mean, let's be honest, we all sign up for things, we never go to them
Yeah.
because life happens, something shows up, something happens. And you're like you said, I'll just listen to the recording later. And of course they don't,
Yeah.
and we don't. So we need to put a lot more effort into enticing them basically. Why should they spend their time to come and show up? You need to tell them that. So what are some examples of things that we can say inside of our emails, or what should we actually be focusing on to answer that question in their mind of why should I not do this other thing that came up and actually come to your event?
Yeah, so that's where highlighting benefits and outcomes is always the key piece. I think a lot of us default to, you're going to learn, you're going to learn, you're going to learn. But I think most of us, especially if we're receiving an email from you, we have access to the internet and we have access to the AI tool of our choice, right?
Yes.
So knowledge and information is not an incentive enough.
No.
It's around what will that mean for you? So this is where that personalization piece comes in. If you can ask your people about why they said yes as soon as they did it, right? So we call this in marketing the moment of heightened emotion. They've just done a thing. They've just signed up, for example. That is actually your best opportunity to get them to tell you more about their decision. So just after someone buys, for example, having a post-purchase survey being like, why did you decide to buy? Gives you a lot of insight. Same thing if they signed up for your event. If they've just signed up for your event, great. We want to make sure this experience is valuable to you. Why did you choose to sign up for the event? And then you can create messaging for like, here's the top reason, here's another top reason, here's another top reason. And you want to do this on a deeper emotional level. So I call this, this was taught to me as like the so what method. I have a background as a direct response copywriter. So
Hmm.
basically it's like take the item, take the deliverable, take the information piece that you're thinking of and say, so what? So, oh, you're going to learn how to get people to show up to your events. So what? So that your effort actually results in people in the room. So what? Because we all know that the more people in the room means you have a higher chance of sales, so that the time you invest in promoting your event actually results in the sales you want.
Right.
Oh, now I'm intrigued and thinking, okay, yeah, no, that's a reason I want to show up in the room.
Hmm.
So, when it comes to crafting those reminder emails, you want to get into what are their reasons? And if you have those reasons, make sure you've created a journey for the people related to their reasons. And B, making sure those reasons are linked to an outcome they want. right? Saying you're going to learn something is not an incentive for most of us. Like we were really excited to finish with school, and we don't want to go back. Um, but, tying it to, hey, I'm going to show you how to, 10x your results without 10xing your hours. Oh, that's something I'm intrigued about, right? Or I'm going to show you how to lose weight without constantly counting calories. Yes, please. Or, whatever it is that you're teaching, like expand it beyond the thing and link it to the emotion.
Yeah, exactly. And we are tired of learning. People don't want to learn. They want things to be easy and fast, and they don't want to feel like they're going to work. So I've learned to change some of those words that sound like work to something that sounds fun and easy um, and interesting, right? Intriguing.
Yes.
And I love the so what method. I use it all the time to get to that result. That's what they really are interested in. That's why they're going to come. So making it as tangible and juicy and desirable as you can is super great. And I always say too, like reaching out to make your emails as personal as possible. And I know that you talk a lot about personalization um, in your emails. So talk a little bit about that. How does that play into writing those emails for your event? And not only the promotional emails, but also on the reminders to get them there to actually show up.
Absolutely. So when I talk personalization, a lot of us kind of default to, oh yeah, their name is in it.
Hmm.
And, here's the thing. That name category, first off, is based off of what they gave you when they signed up. How many of us now, like, give the bare minimum when signing up? Like, here's my initial, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so that doesn't exactly feel personal. And we forget that the reason why we're only saying our initial and not our full first name is because that's literally what we put in. I mistyped my name once. And so I keep getting those emails from this person. And I'm like, you're spelling my name wrong. I was like, oh, no, wait, I spelled my name wrong. That's what happened. Okay. So this is what we want to think about. But instead of that, like surface level, what I'm talking about is the reason why, right? So if I have like a list of bullets for why you want to come to an event, right? I can personalize those bullets based off of like their top challenge. So right now I'm working with a client who regularly runs an event, and we're running a test right now to personalize not every email, right? But some of the key emails that have key reasons why you want to show up. And we also, of course, personalize the subject line based off of what people have told us is important to them. And right now, they're experiencing about a 55 to 65% open rate on those reminder emails. Now, if 55 to 65% of the people are going to open a reminder email about an event they already know is coming, we can kind of extrapolate that we're going to get a much higher show up rate, right? And then if I look at the click-through rate, like here's a couple of resources you might want to do, or like here's different things, add to your calendar, or check this out. We're getting like 8 to 10% click rates, which is amazing.
that is amazing.
So when we think of personalization, it's not, okay, let me just say, hey, you said your top challenge was X, so you should come to the event. You need to then go into the deeper reasons for that top challenge. So one of the things I teach a lot about, for example, is lead generation. I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads. But why do you need more leads? Right? So I need more leads because my list is tiny. I need more leads because I'm doing an event or a launch. I need more leads because, I don't know, I'm not booking enough sales calls. So I would then create like bullets based off of each of those. So, oh, you need more sales calls. I'll show you how to make sure every lead that comes in your funnel has twice as much high of a chance of booking a sales call. Same bullet, I could say if it's for like, I need to grow my list, I'll show you how to grow your list rapidly with new leads and the ones that are engaged from email number one. Same content, right? I'm not going to be teaching four different workshops to the same people, but the reason why they want to show up is linked to their top challenge.
Wow, that's brilliant. I'm wondering the tech behind all of that. How do you segment all that out? Do you use custom values based on what they answered or?
Yeah, so I use a tool called Write Message that actually maps the quiz answers to their individual CRM data. And then I can create smart lists, I can create custom journeys, I can create all of those pieces so that I have different emails for different people at the same level. So yes, if we're talking GHL, for example, Go High Level or a version of Go High Level for those of you who don't know what that is. You can use custom values. And so, like, we're branching in the reminder sequences. If their
Mm.
value is this, this is the version of the email. So you take
Ah.
like your master version and create variations. So you're not
Mm.
always starting from scratch. But depending on what email system you use, you can also just do it natively. There's this thing called liquid code. It's very techy. It doesn't work in GHL exactly. So we have a workaround. But basically, you kind of map out for yourself, all right, what is this most interesting pathway? What are the top reasons I should personalize on? And then you can create that variation. So you can just put everyone who says that into this version of the reminder sequence, for example.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Of course, you're going to get higher open and rates, click rates, and show up rates because the more personal we can make this for people, and even in our outreach, directly, like we do direct messaging and we text and we call, like anything that can be more personalized, that's what works because people are so used to the mass emails and the mass messaging and they don't pay much attention to it. But when you're speaking directly to them, it's like, oh, yeah, that's something I'm interested in. Takes a
Right?
little bit more effort, right? But the payoff is so great. You're putting a lot of energy and time and effort into getting people to your event. You might as well take the extra step and get more people there and more interested. I would imagine those people are not only going to show up, but they're going to show up with more motivation, with more engagement
Mm.
because you were speaking directly to them. So I love that. And we're talking numbers here. So what are some of what can you tell us about numbers? What kind of numbers should we be aiming for as far as registrations and show ups, conversions? What do we want to aim for? I know it's changed a lot.
Yeah, it's changed some. And the thing to keep in mind as well is better positioning and messaging will always trump higher numbers. So, I have seen my clients hold a room of 12 and make $50,000. I have seen people who have a room of 150 and made like $12,000, right? So it's really around, are you positioning your events and using the right messaging to get the right people in the room? So when it comes to conversions, though, some indicators we can look at are they opening the reminder emails? Are they clicking through to view the resources we're talking about? Actually having them complete the survey itself is usually a really great indicator that they're going to show up, especially if you frame it in a way that's for them, right? So like our page right now, the page I use on almost every thank you page is, hey, I want to make sure what I send you is valuable to you. Can you answer this really quick 60-second survey? And I'll get people who, right now, the completion rate on most of the surveys I've crafted for myself and my clients is around 68 to 75%,
Nice.
which is really high for
Yeah.
a quiz, right? Like few people actually get that far. It's like great to have a 10% completion rate on a quiz
Yeah.
usually.
True.
So, if you get 68% of your audience to take the quiz, they're already invested,
Yeah.
right? Because they gave extra time. Then, if you send those personalized emails and they still open them, now they're even more invested. And, if you frame your event as not just information, but as getting something done, right? Like, here's a workbook, here's, a preview of what you're going to do, here's why you want to be in the room. Anything that frames it as an experience over here's information, also a huge incentive. So if you're looking at numbers, right? Right now the averages, I would say, are like you can expect 20 to 25% open rate on your email reminders. You can expect 25, maybe 30% show up rate, especially if it's a free or low cost event. You can expect, 10 to 15% conversion in the room if like you're looking at your general numbers, right? But a big thing that I find is look at your landing page. That's where it all starts. The page to get signups, right?
Right.
So if right now, for example, one of my signups it converted at, I had a client who just did a webinar and we used the survey answers to craft the landing page. 67% of traffic signed up. So that's huge, right? Like most of us get a 30% conversion. So if
Yeah.
you have a webinar, if you have a masterclass, if you have an event, and you can get 67% of the traffic that shows up on the top page, like to say, yes, I'll come, then already you're going to double your results at the end of the journey because you got three times as many as most people get when signing up for something.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's right. We need to look at everything. So, starting with that landing page, do you recommend doing split testing with the landing page to see what works
Yeah,
better?
I love split testing, and the tool I use actually can give you customized copy on the page. So like if they've already been segmented in your in your software, then the page they see, like if they're already on your list and you tell them about an event, they can like see a personalized version of the event. But A/B testing is always powerful. And one big surprise to me I have found is less is more now on anything that's like a front facing. I've got a page right now, it's converting at about 78%, and it's got like
Oh,
100 words on it.
wow.
But people are like, "Oh yeah, no, this is exactly what I want. Let me say yes." So, when it comes to your landing page, absolutely test, but realize that testing requires traffic. A lot of people will tell me something like, oh, I don't, the test didn't work or my page isn't converting. And they have like 50 people who went to the page. I'm like, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Real testing requires at least 100, usually closer to like 500 people to like get real data.
Mm. Okay. That's really, really helpful. And I have heard that too about less is more. There's always this back and forth. Should I put more on my page or not? We just had this discussion the other day, and some people say, yeah, I put more underneath the fold down below the first section there for people that do want to read more, but you're above the fold should be very simple. And then some people say, just keep it simple. Don't put anything below, the fold. So there's a lot of different opinions out there, but I have heard that the simpler pages are definitely converting more. I think people are just overloaded with information. I'm like that. Like I just get to the bottom line. Don't give me a bunch of stuff. I just want to know
I
should
will
I
say
go?
sales pages still convert better at long form, but opt-in pages, less is more.
Yeah. Yep. Good to know. All right. Well, thanks, Kimberly. This has been really fascinating. And I'm just keeping my eye on the time. We have a couple people in the room with us. If either one of you would like to ask Kimberly a question, then you certainly are invited to do that. I'm going to actually remove our spotlights and just let you guys talk. Arena, you unmuted. And I'm going to put Kimberly's link in the chat for her gift and let her explain what that is after Irina asks her question.
Mhm.
Yes, regarding the testing, you said 50 is not enough, 100, 500 is better. How do you make people do the testing? I mean, I have a huge community, but when I post there, I have not that many people really opening the links that I'm posting there, or I suspect even reading. So how to organize this process to see if it's working or not? I mean, I did post the really simple survey and like in a group of thousands of people and got 18 people, taking,
Taking the
time
quiz.
to answer it. So,
Yeah, so as I said, the challenge with surveys is that they don't get a huge response rate if it's random. So when people have just done something, they've just signed up, they've just bought something, they've just registered for a networking event, whatever it is, if they've just taken an action, they're a lot more likely, they're like four times more likely to take the survey. If we
mm,
post, hey, answer my survey, the first question for them is, how long is this going to take? What's in it for me? Like they can't necessarily see the reason why they should invest their time, so few people will answer. Um, so that's why every single action-based page on my website, the next thing is, hey, take a survey. Because I want to capture them when they're in that peak mindset of, oh, I'm open now to like giving you information. Um, so how do you get your group to do more? I Where are you hosting your group?
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah. that is number one, your challenge right there. Even in a group that you have said I want notifications from, we get like 1% of those notifications. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
So post more. And another method is if you personally know there are people who would benefit from what you're posting about. Like if you're talking about a masterclass and you know there's 20 people who would benefit from that particular topic, tag them. Tag them individually. Don't tag them as everyone. As soon as the everyone tag got introduced,
Mm.
most hosts overused it.
Yep.
And so now we get a notification saying, "Hey, you've been tagged," and then we're annoyed when we realize it's an everyone tag.
Yep.
So be sure to tag individuals for that. But yeah, I mean, if your stuff's not getting seen, do more of it.
Mm.
And then also explore outside of your own communities. Like post in general on Facebook, post in general on whatever other channels you're looking at and see if you can't get traffic that way. It could be the messaging of the post itself. Like
Mm.
the phrase I heard when I first got started in copy was WIIFM. What's in it for me radio?
Mhm.
So always when you're sitting down to create marketing, think about what's in it for the person reading.
Yeah,
Because if it's not clear to them why they should bother, they won't do it.
it's true.
Mhm.
Good advice. I just put a link for Kimberly's
Thank you.
gift, which is called the Revenue Leak Audit. Find the hidden money in your funnel in 10 minutes. What's that about, Kimberly?
So it is a 3-day email delivered training that highlights what I see as like the most common challenges with people who have a funnel. So I talk about a couple of different things each day, and there's like a little activity. So it should take you about 10 minutes or less a day. It's
Good.
over the course of 3 days, and it'll highlight for you where you might be leaking money or where you might find opportunities in the list you already have, right? That's the whole point of a lot of what I do right now is you've got a list, you've taken the time, you've built it. Let's make it work better for you.
Yeah. Excellent. 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 Yeah, so grab that freebie and these links will be in the show notes below the video in YouTube if that's where you're watching this. Also, I have a freebie for you. It's my guidebook called Workshops That Win Clients. It will walk you through my 7-step process to host workshops that really create client enrollment on a regular basis consistently. And also that leads to my next workshop coming up soon, next week, I think the 27th.
I was like, it's
Um,
coming soon, right?
Client enrollment workshop. And in that workshop, we go through the framework and I dive into a couple of those steps pretty in depth and get you interacting with me. It's very interactive. And this piece that Kimberly's talking about is huge. It's one I've been looking at myself more and more. Kimberly and I are actually going to talk later about
Yeah.
how she and I can work together. Because this is something, my quest is always like how to help people make their events work better, including mine. And this is an area I'm just now starting to really look at because I could do better on my emails for sure. So we're going to be looking at how she can help me and maybe test out her stuff on my events. That will be so cool. Awesome. I'm always trying to learn and grow, not only for me, but for you guys too. So,
Yeah, I mean, personalization, it used to be really difficult. It used to be super complex, and now it's become easier than ever for, you to find somebody who can do it for you.
yeah,
And the key piece though is that you got to have a certain list size to make it worth it, right? But also, there's just so much opportunity with personalization. So it's literally where do you want to start?
yeah, yeah. Great. Awesome. Did that help you, Irina, with that answer?
Yes, something to tweak because Janelle, you know that I first of all, one thing just to share that in public groups you cannot do at everyone anymore. It's only in private groups available.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I do need to tag individually, but when you have this many people who I know will be benefiting, it's,
Yeah, she's
I
got a
mean,
huge community.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, unfortunately, with the huge community, it is harder simply because um, Facebook doesn't serve them.
Mhm.
So what I would encourage you to do, Irina, starting now, if you don't have it already, is literally anyone who joins your community, ask them to say, hey, do you want this resource? Give me your email.
Yeah. In the questions.
I have their
Yeah.
email.
Well, if you have their emails, then I personally, if you have their emails, I would not worry about increasing engagement in your community. I would message your email list.
Yes.
Yeah, but I do need now when it was a very good call today
Mhm.
because I do need to craft my email that everybody is getting anyways. It just needs to be edited.
Mhm.
I didn't touch it already for a year, so it
Oh,
needs to
yeah.
be
That's another key
be
point, right?
updated.
We want to go back and update our evergreen
Yes, for
all
sure.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you're here, Arena.
Me
How about
too.
you, Michael? You have any questions?
Well, what will be like your starter point to like build that list of name to be more relevant when you want to start actually doing event, right? Because it's something that we want to implement this year into the business,
Mm.
and we want to start to do like stage presentation and stuff like that. So
Oh,
what will be like your starter point over that?
So the starting point for personalization is what you're asking?
Yeah, or just like, to start to have like the more relevant people for the newsletter,
mm,
right? Because we have LinkedIn,
mm.
Instagram, TikTok, and all those things. So, what
Right.
will be like the most relevant for picking up people to send those things to?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, so if you don't have one yet, I always recommend having a lead magnet. I actually recommend having 3 to 5 lead magnets. So your lead magnet, it needs to be linked to what you sell.
Mhm.
And I know that sounds really obvious, but the number of people I've met who like have a lead magnet that doesn't link to what they sell
Me
is
too.
kind of mind blowing. So whatever it is that you sell, what do people really want that you can give a quick win that is enticing enough for them to hand over their email address? Promote that on your social channels, and
Mhm.
then on the thank you page, start gathering data. On the thank you page, say, hey, I
Mhm.
want to make sure that what I send you is actually good in your inbox because we all have way too many unread messages. Would you
Ah,
give me 60 seconds and answer this for me? And right now, I get people every time I get floods of new people coming in. I also now I'm starting to find out like who am I getting in? It's always gonna be harder to get data from the list you already have. So it'll
mm.
be a gradual thing, but you can start gathering it from your new people, which also just tells you like, did your audience change and you didn't know it?
Such a great strategy. So on that thank you page, I always have the workshop coming up, but the
Mhm.
question you ask, so you do that in a survey, a quick survey, and you give them a link and they just ask.
So what's your conversion to the workshop right now?
Um, on my landing page, you mean?
Hmm.
Oh gosh, you're asking me a question I have to go look for. I think last time I looked, it was probably around 20, 25%, something like that.
So I would keep the workshop then because that is your enrollment process.
Yep.
But what you can do is say, no thanks, take me to the thank you page and or take me to the next step, like have a link to hyperlink to the survey
Oh, okay.
so that you don't miss out on the opportunity. Because once people take a survey, they're not necessarily going to go take a workshop, like sign up for
Gotcha.
the workshop. So you don't want to miss out on that. But I would also do some testing because you should have a much higher opt-in off of the
Yes,
thank you.
and that might not be right. I haven't. I have to go look at my latest
Yeah.
one.
But I mean, as long as your thank you page next step is converting, I wouldn't remove it.
Yeah,
But you can make it your next one.
yeah. Okay, good. I will go look at that actually. Um, good, awesome. Well, this has been super helpful. Lots of great info. Thank you so much again, Kimberly, for coming. You
Sure.
guys grab that free gift of hers. It's super valuable. It's in the chat for you guys in the Zoom. It's in the show notes below this video. The revenue leak audit, find the hidden money in your funnel in 10 minutes. Very valuable. And I hope that you'll come to my workshop and we can talk about how to make your events be a lot more strategic and bring you a steady stream of not only clients, but also new leads. Because every time you do a workshop, you got new people on your list and new people that have met with you and have heard from you and like what you have. And so you have new people to send those personalized emails to. So there you go.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Kimberly. Thank you for coming. Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you.
Arena and Mike.